Good evening. I'm Daksh. I'm the founder of Love World magazine, which creates inspiring content for teenagers, and we find inspiration in teenagers. So the focus of our work is teens inspiring teens, and every once in a while, we try to create industry white papers for the K-12 sector or school education. In this effort, we particularly try to get opinions, new innovations, different ideas, disruptions that school leaders are doing within their institutions to improve education. And this is a very special time for all of us. In both ways, it's good in certain ways and bad in certain ways. We are all experiencing a lockdown, which will be reformational for a lot of people and which will be irritating for some of them. So during this special time, we want to know what all good, interesting, or new are you doing in your school. So let's hear it from Saima, ma'am.
I'm Saima Khan, an educator, a learner with an experience of 30 years in this field. And I said a learner. With 30 years too, I'm a learner. At present, I am the director of Banyan Tree Schools. And I just want to tell you, I am a Kolkata girl, an old woman at present. But what interested me with your company or whatever you call the platform was that you all are from Kolkata. And I feel that is the mecca for learning, Kolkata. So hats off to all the Bengalis around. Okay. Now, I would first try to start off with what we understand by learning. As soon as academicians or educators talk about learning, we think it is associated with academics alone. As soon as we talk about learning, it is associated with academics. I don't know why, especially when we educators talk about learning. So the first thing that we were into online classes. I'm an online educator with unacademy.com. So I have been in the virtual world. So first thing I explained to them was that please do not mix up academics with learning. This period should be a learning period, not only with academics, learning as with life skills, learning as with experience. So we started off our online classes with life skills. We started making the students pot, make plants, grow plants, being associated with a life skill, psychosocial skills. This is what I just now am doing. And I've asked the parents that please, we will start off the academics when the children are settled with the idea of the lockdown. We are still, the children are more scared, or maybe as scared as we are. So we are making them comfortable by imbibing knowledge in them through life skills and not only academics. That is the present no lockdown for me for learning. So we must understand the meaning of learning. The next, what you said, our vision and what I have imbibed during this time is teamwork, which is actually making our dream work. We have all got so close to each other in spite of the social distancing that it is actually making you feel closer to people, excuse me, we were so far away from. At present, my mother-in-law is with me. I'm bonding much more than her. I've got a new daughter-in-law. I'm binding much more. I'm waiting for the second hand. The vision that along with knowledge, we must imbibe learning, because learning is comprehension. So we must imbibe learning and not academics alone as academicians, I would like to say. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Saima, ma'am. Thank you so much for those thoughts. I would just to bring everything and the whole discussion to much more to context. I would like to share some of the learnings that we've got till now. There's one school in Padua in Hooghly in West Bengal. They don't have good internet, so they're doing a very small activity which is very impactful. They've told their students to create a custom dictionary which they have to bring when they come back to school. This does not need internet. Just learn 5 new words every day. Add that words to that dictionary. And for instance, there's one school in Hisar in Haryana. They have told their students to do a daily report on what's going around them. Become a news reporter, become a journalist, so that you learn from your surroundings, what's going around you. There's one school in Agra which has told parents to do a round table with their kids every evening and discuss about what's going around them, new topics every day. There are schools that have told pre-toddlers to daily do a video call to their teacher and sing a different song every day. So life skills at this point has taken a front seat and academics has taken a back seat, that's for sure. So we would again want you to share with us some more learning, some more ideas, something innovative, something disruptive that you're doing within your school. So let's hear it from Pragya ma'am now. Pragya ma'am, the next 2 minutes are yours.
Thank you all for sharing these valuable views, and thank you very much. So, as Modi ji has said that in this period of crisis, humanity must win and India must win. And as we know, we should all assume that social distancing is only the way to combat the coronavirus, and over 1 billion people have been confined in their homes. So, as the school is closed due to this corona outbreak worldwide, studies of the students are lagging behind. So, keeping that in mind, we have decided to start online classes, and we are doing online learning. I think it helps to eliminate the borders and barriers. It's a great solution to provide the education on their own places, and students are enjoying from their homes. And I think we are making such type of groups of the students for each individual every class. And we are doing some activities with the students. They are submitting their drawings and essays, and they are trying on their own level to, they are doing some efforts. So thank you so much, sir.
Okay, thank you, Pragya ma'am. Again, just to again bring things to much more context in this. This platform is basically created to share best practices that are happening within schools. If you are doing something experimental, something, even a small little activity that might make a change in the way education is perceived or seen or deciphered, we would want to know those interesting bits and pieces of it. We all are using a lot of online classes, a lot of online platforms. We are using Microsoft Teams, we are using WhatsApp, we are using worksheets. Try to give us something which is some innovation, some pinch of salt, some disruption there. So, because we will be taking the most amazing thoughts that you give us to a white paper that will be published and sent to nearly 2,000 to 3,000 schools across the globe. Yesterday, we had a principal from a school in London. Day before yesterday, we had somebody from Nepal, somebody from Bangladesh. So we have people coming in from all across the globe. So now let's hear it from Aarti ma'am. Ma'am, the next 2 minutes are yours. You can unmute yourself and try to share with us your introduction, a learning and a vision that you want schools to replicate or understand or emulate from you. Aarti ma'am.
Okay. Hello, everyone. Good evening to all of you. First of all, I must say it was really nice listening to Saima ma'am, what she said about the whole thing, her being a learner for 30 years. And I feel that during this lockdown period, especially, everybody's like making a lot of hue and cry. I wonder, like today's 9th of April, usually the school starts by 2nd or 3rd of April. And mostly April has a lot of holidays, right? So what's the hue and cry about teaching the children all of the sudden, a lot of online classes and all the assignments and homeworks and all those things? What is the point in doing all these things? What I feel is at this point of time, like ma'am said, life skills. And I believe the best life skill teacher could be your parents, could be the family which you are living around with, the environment. And the community learning, wherein people are like, especially if you look about 2 days when Modi ji won, when we had that Tali and Thali thing, and other day when we had that lamp lighting thing. So the whole world came out. For the child, this was a great learning, wherein the entire world comes out on their terrace and balconies and everybody's like appreciating. That is the feeling of oneness. And I believe that is the biggest life skill which we can be teaching. So I believe that instead of pouring down a lot of assignments and homeworks and all, I believe what we can do is give them some thoughts. Maybe this is the right time when we can lead our children to research, to give them some topics where they can research on themselves and learn on their own, because I believe learning can be done on their own. Yes, there is a lot of challenge in that, because our children are, let us say we are responsible for it, but our children are already rote learners. So they are used to like teaching and then copying and then homework and then everything, then learning the whole thing, revising and writing the exams. So our children are used to it. So let's break that chain. Let's take it as a bliss instead of cursing it. Let's take it as a bliss and give a chance to children to maybe go for some project-based learning. Maybe they can have a project on finding out the actual thing about Corona itself. What are their views? What are their fears? Let them express it maybe through drawing, riddles, puzzles, whatever. But give them the freedom of learning. Give them the freedom of life skills on their own. This was a good initiative of planting. Yes, Divya, thank you. I think I've exceeded. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Aarti ma'am, for your thoughts. I think 2 or 3 things that we can take forward. First, a parent is a very good facilitator for life skills, so he should work on it. Secondly, it's a good time for students to take the research mode of learning. We should use flip learning and take it to the next level. Let them go and delve deep into subjects that we think are relevant for them at this point of time. And project-based learning, we just got a very nice idea from a school just yesterday. I think from a school, I don't remember the school. R.K. Moses sir was the principal there. He's doing a very interesting thing. He's giving his students a 10-minute worksheet, a worksheet that gets finished in just 10 minutes. And you can actually give 3 or 4 learning outcomes within those 10 minutes. They've programmed and put those questions such nicely in such a good way that within 10 minutes, there are at least 2 or 3 learning outcomes. And a student gets interested because it's a timed game. He has typically gamified a worksheet. So within 10 minutes, you have to do this worksheet, and it's a small activity, fun tasks, and good to learn. So nice to know. Amazing thoughts, Aarti ma'am. We'll take these forward. Now let's hear it from Murli Manohar Sharma ji. Over to you, sir. Next 2 minutes are yours. You can unmute yourself.
Very good evening, one and all present here. I belong to Junagadh, Gujarat, and I'm heading a boarding school, CBSE boarding school. My students, they hail from high-class family. They belong to a rich background, but now due to lockdown, they are facing the real problems which we people, or we can say common people, are facing. So I did not tell them that you continue with the e-learning or something, blah, blah, blah. I'm not forcing them that go for the academics. You just go and help your mother to cook in kitchen. You just help your parents if I'm damn sure they have never done that. So they are doing these things, activities, and they are reporting us what they are learning. My vision is to ensure that how they can develop holistically, right? Other activities are also required, because until and unless we cannot create good humans, the education is useless. So I'm trying to make sure that they are doing other activities, how they are helping their parents, how they are, coordinating with them apart from education. So I did not touch them ki beta go for e-learning or go for any online class. That can be provided by these, we can say some different coaching classes as well. Number of good institutions, they are providing, home package. Yes, you just enroll with us and we will provide you this package. So I told them that do gardening, clean your car, do dusting at home, right? These activities must be learned. Some of them, some of my students, they are staying in campus during lockdown, around 50 students. What they are doing, they are helping in dining hall. We are preparing food packets and they are packing them. They are helping those supporting staffs as well. So I have given them the responsibility so that they can inculcate the human values and they can become the good citizen. That's it. And it's really nice to listen to Saima ma'am also, Aarti ma'am, Pragya ma'am. It's really wonderful. Nice interaction. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, sir. I think you are right now sitting on a treasure trove where you have 50 kids at this point in your boarding school, and you have the perfect mix for either creating history or actually creating history. Both, it could go super positive or it could go super negative. But it's great that you have engaged them in a very engaging activity. We would request whatever observations you have within this lockdown with this set of students. Please try to share those with us, because I think this would be a monumental.
Definitely.
Because having 50 kids in a lockdown, in a boarding, not in their families, is a very different kind of atmosphere. Nobody has experienced it. and nobody knows it. So, and that also from a background which is where they're from an affluent background. So it would be a very good case study as such. We would again want to connect back with you, and I hope you document some of your observations that can be taken to other people. Thank you so much for taking out the time and being with us. So let's hear it from Kanu Charan Panda, sir.
Sir, good afternoon, sir. I am Keshi Panda, principal, sir. Chinmaya Vidyalaya, Odisha. And our school is in tribal area, and it is in hilly area. So there is no facilities for e-learning, and we have suggested the students to do their 10 minutes job at their home, what they are doing, and making a diary, that is COVID diary. So they are making diary every day what they are doing, 10 minutes at their home. They are what they are learning from the internet or from their own mobile or system, and they are putting the data. And after the lockdown, when the school will open, and we'll check it, and we'll reward them in the Independence Day or Republic Day. Thank you, sir.
Okay, amazing thought. So again, somebody there with infrastructure, major infrastructure issues that you do not have internet. I think there are two nice things that you can do there as well. If your parents have WhatsApp enabled phones, you can tell them to share daily pictures of whatever their kids are doing. And this could be a good repository of creative work. A lot of schools are doing this at the moment, where they're trying to get what all creative things students are doing at home. You can even tell them to record small 10-second, 20-second videos where they try to speak something, because a video diary would be much more engaging for a kid. Writing a diary is good. He can also do a small video diary kind of a thing. But yes, internet has not been a limitation for schools across the nation and across different countries. Schools have been very, very, very innovative in doing certain things, because once we'll share the white paper, you'll also be amazed with the kind of things people have been doing. So thank you so much, Panda sir, for being with us from Odisha. Let's hear it from Manju ma'am now. Manju ma'am, you can unmute your audio. We cannot see your video. You'll have to put on your video as well.
I'm Manju Gupta, Principal Kothari International School in Noida, and of course, which is of course sealed now. So we live in an environment where this has impacted a lot. Well, as a school, if I say a few learnings, everybody is focusing on what children are learning. And my focus is what teachers are learning. Because it's again an amazing time for teachers to rejuvenate, get motivated and learn new things. So my focus is, of course, train the teachers. And in that process, children will definitely be benefited. So making teachers update themselves is one thing which we are doing. Second is we are connecting every day, so we update ourselves. The second is with the children, and we are finding that the technology is a great boon, and it's because of that we are talking together. Teachers are surprising themselves. That was my discovery this afternoon while talking to the teachers. They discovered that could they do all this, and if they could do all this is a great high on them. As a school, what you were saying, that make a video diary and the written diary, because diary writing skills had gone because of this fast pace. So we are helping children to learn this art of diary writing, which is written as well as talking about it. So they have to present their diary, and then they connect with their great tutor, and the great tutor summarizes it and then takes a session with them. So diary writing is one thing. The second very good thing, we have got an opportunity to connect with parents online and training them to be good parents. So the parenting skills are going on. So I'm working with adults, and it's an opportunity to work with adults, and the parents are also quite happy, because when we used to do these parenting workshops in school, there were reasons not to reach because of their whatever busy schedules. So now they are all online, and they learn and they ask questions, and the counselors are able to solve, or I am able to give them the answers. So the result of that is it is good learning time for parents also. And of course, my fears are also there. That the fear is that after this time is over, should we cut down the school time 5 days a week? We run 5 days a week to 3 days a week and 2 days at home. So let's do from home. and avoid and save so many things, the time, the traffic on the road, and so many more things. So this has shown a new dimension for education, and I'm quite hopeful after this it'll be a turnaround in education scene. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Manju ma'am. Again, some very nice to actually look at what teachers are doing, because this is the time to train your enabler, how he treats his kids then. I think we have got thoughts from all of you, and we'll be taking some of these thoughts to the white paper. But before this talk comes to a conclusion, or I take second thoughts, there are two ideas that I want to typically put in your mind. So it's typically food for thought, so that when we meet next or when we talk next, we have some more good learnings from you. First, we are right now in a corona world. Once we are facing a lockdown, we are in our homes, we are trying to use technology. And when we are using technology, if you look at most of the education technology solutions, most of the companies that provide schools with ed tech solutions of any sort, what they are actually solving are not education issues. They are solving communication challenges. They are not creating a lot of good content. They are not giving a lot of engagement to a kid. They are solving communication problems and not education problems. Secondly, the two companies which right now are leading in the education space are non-edtech companies. The first being WhatsApp and the second being Zoom. They were not supposed to be used by schools. They were not made for schools. They were not education companies. But right now they are having the biggest share in edtech and education technology. So this, as a school leader, I think this is a very good time to understand that how would technology treat you as a consumer? The people who come directly to you with a technology product, are they actually solving education issues? Do they understand education? And how should you as an individual judge a technology, whether it's of your use or not? This is a good time to understand that as well, because in the coming times, education would drastically change, that we all know. And the reason would be technology. Second thought, there will be a post-corona world that we'll all come to. Once this corona ends, this lockdown ends, there will be a post-corona world or a post-lockdown world. And in that world, the character of the student and of the teacher will, I think, flip and completely flip, because you'll have a student who would be restless, who would have been at home for such a long time, a teacher who would have become a bit tech savvy, but at the same time would have super tech savvy students. I think you'll have to isolate the skills that you'll require in your teachers and create specific content where you nurture those skills. There'll be a new skill set that will be required in teachers as well. And two things which we learned from this is the 12th interaction we are having with such a group of principals. We have done around 11 such before this. Out of our learnings, I think the two things which actually boiled down was, there will be two skills that will become the foremost priority within the whole education sector, whether it may be secondary, higher education, wherever it is. As an educationist, you'll only be supposed to deliver two skills. And that will be the ultimate, judgment or examination of a student. And these two skills are the most difficult to decipher. The first one being creativity. Creativity not in the sense of colors and painting and drawing and craft. Creativity in the sense of critical thinking. Having a perspective, adding perspective, having opinions. And second would be wisdom. Understanding what's good for a student and what's bad for a student. Because once you give them technology, they get unlimited content. And child security online, as of now, is a global issue. There are not a lot of solutions that cater to it. There are not a lot of solutions which can actually do it. And if a kid does not have these two, he will lose to technology in the coming time, because everything else is redundant, and whatever is redundant, technology can do it. Humans are not required for it. So I think we'll have to think on the curriculum or the content that we are delivering. We all will have to learn more, educate more, and unlearn a lot of stuff to create the new human being or the next level of citizen that we want in the world. And the reason why we are trying to do this is just to give a stimuli to all the people who are leading these institutions to add a little more perspective, add a little more of disruption, innovation in whatever you are doing, because education is the first and I think the most affected industry in these times. This industry is going to lead the businesses in the coming time and even the global economy. If you even see the Moody's ratings, this is the future. But if you are sitting at the forefront of it, I think you should know how to drive it. So everybody, let's think on these lines. Some more food for thought. I know that you'll be doing great with whatever you have got and whatever new things you'll be adding to it. I am quite less experienced than all of you. I'm here to take your experience and build a repository of ideas that can be shared with everybody across the globe. And just to break Saima ma'am's heart, we are not a company based out of Kolkata. We are a company based out of Udaipur in Rajasthan. But yes, we are in love with Kolkata as well. We are doing one of our events in Kolkata now. So, just to conclude this thought, we are trying to find out the most creative schools within India. We are asking for whatever good, disruptive, innovative you or your teacher or your student is doing during this time. Try to document it through your social media, share it with us in whichever way possible. Any small little innovation or even a pinch of salt would be drastically helpful at this point. As educationists, you cannot grow food, you cannot distribute food. But the only thing that you can give, and which is the best food, is food for thought. And you control that. So I think ideas should come from each and every corner. So we hope we get more and more things and thoughts from you. Thank you so much, everybody, for being with us today. If you enjoyed, put on your audio, say a big yes, and so that we know that we have to invite you the next time.
Yes,
we enjoyed
yes,
a lot,
yes.
and definitely we'll be participating in coming time as well.
Yes,
so we are looking forward.
Looking forward.
Yes.
Looking forward for the next.
Looking forward.